Welcome to Life Talk with Mariette. I am Mariette. This show is about the life lessons that shape us, what I've learned, what I'm still learning, and how we grow through challenge, awareness, and purpose. I will share personal insights to motivate and inspire you, and sometimes invite guests who do the same. At its heart, Life Talk is about real stories, real growth, and meaningful connection. This is Life Talk with Mariette. Motivational, inspirational, full of heart. Enjoy the show. When we lose someone we love, or a four-legged friend who was part of our family, our world feels empty. The silence is heavy. The days feel different. Grief takes time. It's not something we fix, it's something we live through. But love doesn't leave us. It stays in our memories, in the little moments, in the way our hearts were changed by their presence. And with time, that love gives us strength. It helps us stand again. It helps us find hope again. And we're not alone. You are not alone. And you will find light again. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and I enjoy being with you. Today's show is about pets and us. They are family, and they sure are. So the show is about the real things we live through, the joys, the struggles, and the love we share with the animals who are part of our families. Pets bring us comfort, laughter, and unconditional love. But when they're sick or when we face the possibility of losing them, our hearts are tested in ways we sometimes don't expect. Over the next few episodes, we'll take the time to talk about what it means to walk through those experiences with honesty, with compassion, and always with love. I'm your host, Mariette Camera, and let's get started. When our pets are sick, what does it really do to us? Well, first of all, pets are family. Their illness shakes our daily life and emotional stability. We face helplessness, guilt, and also we ask ourselves, did I miss the signs? And of course, the financial worry. Practical strains are the vet visits, meds, costs, changes in schedule, and of course, disrupted sleep, fear of what's coming. And our pets sense our stress. So we're being asked to stay calm because that helps them to feel secure. That's very hard to do. Also, the healing power of presence, sitting beside them, keeping routines, so important. My Ellie, my cat is 15 years old, and she was very, very sick yesterday. This is a holiday weekend. And I did sit with her, and I comforted her, and she was able to calm down. She was vomiting very early in the morning, and really, it was almost like she was being dizzy. She couldn't even hold herself up. So that's how my day started. And that's what made me decide to put a show together. Let me do some questions and answers, because this will make us feel good. Why does a pet's illness affect us so strongly? Well, because they are woven into our daily lives. When they suffer, it feels like our safe place is shaken. How can we cope with the helplessness? By focusing on what we can do, giving them comfort, showing up consistently, and letting them feel our calm presence. This is exactly what I did yesterday. And of course, I couldn't do anything yesterday. I wanted to work. I wanted to design. I just couldn't do it. I just really my focus was on her yesterday and her movements and how, is she improving? Do I need to bring her to the doctor? So my focus was really on her yesterday. What I ask myself too, am I missing symptoms? And I do feel guilt, but guilt is natural, but pets don't live in blame. They feel love in the now, not regret in the past. And the question is, how can we support our pets emotionally? Keep routine steady, use gentle voices, and simply be near them. They feel our presence more than anything. And what I did, I put a couple of clothings. One is a little blanket that she has always when she lays with me on the bed. I put that blanket around her, over her, and also a sweater of mine, just so she felt the comfort, and it worked. What role does family support play? Sharing the responsibility can ease the burden and make everyone feel part of the healing process. Well, it's just me and Ellie, so it was me yesterday, and I did see some improvements. And I have to tell you, she's 15 years old, and there has never been anything wrong with her, right from birth. She's always been a great cat. She never meows, unless maybe she's a little impatient, with the food, but maybe then. So I know when she meows, there is something wrong with her. And I pay attention to that and how she meows, how the meow sounds. And the last 3 months, we lost a cat here at the house. And Ellie showed signs. She meowed like crazy for 3 straight days. I couldn't understand. I said, I don't really, is she in pain? What do I do? And do you know that cat who did pass away after the third day was in the same house. Our houses are attached. And even though she didn't see Chatterbox every single day, occasionally we would take care of the cat. She felt her passing away. I learned that afterwards. I didn't know that, but that's what I learned. They feel the energy. This is what Ellie felt. So, um, sadness before the goodbye. That's what we feel. And if we don't pick up the signs, unless your cat shows the signs in your in the knowing that the cat is passing away, of course you feel sadness, and I would probably flip out. I couldn't handle it emotionally. And 1 minute you're laughing and the joy one moment and tears the next. That's when you really know your animal is passing away. And shares the times left with rituals, the walks, the cuddles, the favorite treats. And I know people have to make a tough decision, and I feel very bad even getting into that point. And for everyone who has lost an animal, I feel very, very sorry, and I'm sorry for your loss. So, some questions came up. How do we balance sadness with joy? And I would say by focusing on your pet can still enjoy the sunshine, the cuddles, and food they love. And how can we create memories now? With the photos, the videos, the paw prints, or simply writing down the little habits that make your pet unique. And also, the one question I had, is it healthy to talk about the coming loss? Yes, talking brings relief and acceptance. Avoiding the subject makes the emotions heavier. It's just a very, very hard thing when you're in the knowing that your pet is your family member is going to go. So and grief, at some point you're starting the healing process, and grief is different for everyone, of course. tears, numbness, even relief. And there is no right timeline for healing. We have different coping tools, journaling, rituals, lighting candles, sharing stories. And our pets leave gifts, resilience, softness, inspiration to love again. It's very, very heavy for me to even talk about all of this now. Um, why does losing a pet hurt so much? Because they loved us unconditionally. That bond is irreplaceable. And what helps in grief? I think talking openly, honoring memories, creating rituals. Healing happens in waves, not in a straight line. And what if others say it's just a pet? That's their lack of understanding. For those who live the bond, the grief is as deep and valid as any. And I remember when we lost Chatterbox about 3 months ago, and even that little Chatterbox loved me, and she was a very lovable cat. It belonged to the lady next door. Our houses are attached, I told you. And she was always so appreciative, that little chatterbox. And I know she loved me, and she loved being with me when she was with me. And I cried, when the owner called me in that Saturday. Um, they had no idea about the passing, and they went to bed, and Chatterbox was laying in their little basket, in their little um, spot, and she passed away during the night, and they didn't realize that till in the morning, till they got up, and she was in their basket, and she had passed on. And Hi called me, and she said, "Do you want to say goodbye to her?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I cried like anything, because I loved her. So, what do animals? Let me move on. What do animals teach us about life, love, and letting go? Pets teach us love, patience, forgiveness, and joy in simple things. They remind us to live in the present. Their shorter lifespan teach us to treasure time. And that's so true, because we think we live forever. And sometimes time goes by fast for us. Sometimes meaning time just flies. We remember before COVID, oh, it was 2021. Well, now it's 2025. It's almost 2026. Where has the time gone? And as we're living, when we're in the time living, it doesn't go by that fast, but it does. It really, really does. We don't really think about it. We just say, oh, it's already summer, or it's already winter. Time really has passed so fast. We do talk about it, but we really don't stop till we stop and think about it, and then talk about it. I guess I have to ask myself, what is the greatest lesson pets teach us? Our, I would say, even though Ellie hasn't passed on yet, and she's up there 15 years age, and she's a senior, and she lost all her interest in everything. She used to look out the window. She used to jump from one room to room on this furniture, and on the windowsill, and look out and watch the birds. She no longer does that. She's just concentrating on different spots in the house, and she just makes sure that she has food, and she rests, and she has food, and she rests. But what I do love, that she seeks comfort at night, and jumping on the bed with me, and laying next to me, and really enjoying the comfort. So, what is the greatest lesson that she has taught me? I don't know.
And I'm not about to make something up. I have to tell you, I grew up as a kid without ever having an animal. My parents didn't believe in having a dog or cat, and in the 60s, the dogs and cats, they would not have the status as they have now. They would stay outside, and they would hardly come inside. So my mother was afraid of dogs, so I never grew up with a dog or with an animal. And it was until 2000 till my daughter got a little dachshund dabble, a tiny little thing. And I said, I can't be afraid of something that tiny. And that's when I really started um, a relationship with a dog. And I loved her. And I would take her to the office. And dachshunds, you really have to be careful because, them climbing stairs. So I had my office on the second floor. And I would carry her up and down the stairs to go outside to pee pee. And I taught her to ring the bell. I had a little bell attached to the doorknob on the string, and she would go. I was the one who really, I would say, potty trained her, and I loved the attention when I went for walks with her, and how people started talking to me where they normally would never even acknowledge me. You know how it goes. You know exactly what I'm saying. So that's when I started, and my daughter said, "Ma, would you like to have a cat?" And I said, "Yes, I would." And she went to Stanford and to a place, and Ellie was six weeks old, and she had everything for her. Not only little Ellie, but also everything that a cat needs. A little bed, a little this, a little that, and food dishes and everything. And that little Ellie went on a journey with me because I did move a few times, and she always adjusted to the place very quickly, and always went with the flow. I remember that. But what I mostly remember, and I do still remember because Ellie has not passed yet, how close I can get to an animal, how you can really bond with an animal. I never experienced that in my life. A lot of kids grow up with animals, and by the way, my daughter didn't grow up with animals either because we just didn't have them. She always wanted a dog, and it was always very hard. The dog was home. How do you take him out? And we did get a dog once, and we put him out on a leash, and he got off the leash, and then the neighbors called us, and we were an hour away each time, each way. So it was a 2 hour commute from and to. So I said we can have that, and then the dog would run after the kids off this, they got off the school bus, and we can't have that. So we had to find a new home for him. Lance was his name, and we had to find a new home for him. So that was devastating for little Heidi. So Heidi made up in later years. She has two dogs, a collie, Stella, and a big dog, Stella. Nice personality, and also a dabble. Her name is Shatsy. It's another dabble in the dabble family, Dachshund dabble. But Gertrude passed away, the first dog that she had. And of course, she has four cats, four cats. And I have to tell you, the the family is so fantastic. The dogs and the cats, how they get along. Of course, Shatsy, the smallest one, she's in charge, the dog. And she tells everybody, what's up, even the adults. But the dogs and cats get along. It's like when they interact with one, especially when it's food time, each knows their place. I love them. I really, really love them. They have great personalities, and they all come from different places, from breeders. And a couple of cats came from Poland, there's special bread and all this, that with papers and who knows. So she has six animals and they go to the spa once a month. Um, they get the finest food. They go for health checkups, just even better than I don't go for health checkups. First of all, I don't like doctors, meaning uh, if there is nothing hurting, I don't go to doctors. And some people go for health checkups all the time. I don't. I should. But anyway, what I wanted to say, they get along so great, and I love being there. I love taking care of them. From time to time, I get to take care of them because they're going somewhere, and I just really enjoy them. They listen. They're just really. I love being with them, and they like me too. They like Grandma. And Heidi fulfilled her dream to have lots of animals around her. And especially now, or as of late, the kids are out of the house. They're in college. One is in London, the other one is upstate here in Connecticut. And yeah, she never comes home to an empty house. And they take care of the animals. The animals really have you know, a great life there, a great, great life, great comfort too. So, getting back to my question, what is the greatest lesson pets teach us? It taught me to bond with animals, which is the greatest feeling. Um, how do pets show patience? Hmm. Yeah, I guess by waiting for us, forgiving us when we're late, and trusting in routine. That's so true. Um, Many times, Ellie sets the tone in the morning, and it's always the same routine around the same time, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then 7 o'clock is already late, but it's never 7 o'clock because she keeps reminding me. She meows. And yeah, they have a routine. I follow the routine. Why are pets called teachers of the moment? Because they don't worry about tomorrow. They Their delight is in now. The walk, the sunbeam, the treat. And it's so true. It's so true. How can we carry their lesson into our own lives? By slowing down, forgiving quicker, loving deeper, and noticing small joys. How true that is. We need to slow down. I slow down too in order to reflect. And it gives me a sense of um, um, feeling well every single day because nothing is out of order. Everything in my inner life is in order. That's why I reflect. And I'm not kidding about that. That's true. Forgiving quicker. That's true. Yeah, too. Loving deeper. I guess it's true. But I definitely notice small joys. I can find small joys all the time, every single minute. What gives me joys? Um, and I pride myself in that because it makes me happy. These little moments in everything. Why do why do we say pets leave us as better people? Because they soften our edges, teach us compassion, and remind us of what truly matters in life. What I find fascinating, how aware the animals are, how their instinct is just 200%, how they can pick up how we feel if we feel sad or happy, and how they can sense when somebody's coming to the house, and they haven't even entered the driveway yet, and they're not visible yet to people. It's just amazing. And my Ellie would have made a great watchdog, a great canine, because she has an instinct and she knows things. It's incredible. And I think I have a pretty good sharpened intuition with her when she's off. The way she looks at me, the way she walks, and when I talk to her, how she responds with her facial expressions. Now, for some people who are not in tune, they say, ah, now she just makes it up. Don't tell me I'm making it up. I know my animal. That's like to me another human. And when they're off, when Ellie is off, I notice it. I notice it. And I say, okay, I gotta pay attention to her, you know? And I watch everything, how much she eats, if she's asking for too much food or not enough food, or when she goes to the bathroom. That's very, very important for a cat who's not, for an animal who is not that active, and she's not active anymore, and she's a little on the heavy side now, that they have regular bowel movements because they could be constipated and I wouldn't know and they're hurting. So I pay attention to all of that. And I love it very, very dearly. Very, very dearly. So, uh, in closing, I would just say, I want to remind you our pets may not live as long as we do, but the love they give us is timeless. Whether you're caring for a sick pet, preparing for a loss, grieving, or reflecting on the lessons they've taught you, remember that your love is the greatest gift you can give them. And it's the gift they've already given you 1,000 times over. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of those who love. Take care of those you love, furry or otherwise. Share this if you like, subscribe if you want. Contact us if you have a thought you want to share. Check us out on lifetalkwithmarietta.com. And till next time, I'm Marietta Cammer. Be well.